Hello and welcome to this exercise within the course of MSK 260. In this course or exercise, we will demonstrate 3D printing. And more so, we will do this with a metal part. It will be in stainless steel, 17.4 pH. This will be printed with an in-house printer, Markforged Metal X, which is a filament printer. It's basically you have powder bound up in some type of epoxy or resin, and you print the part. I will demonstrate this at a later stage. So when you want to do 3D printing, what you want to do is, of course, you want to sketch up or draw a 3D part. You can do this in any software you like. We're using Inventor today. This is a part that will be used at a later lab as well. This is also a part which is fairly difficult to machine due to having this spiral shape on the inside. So it's a good demonstration part. So you've been able to sketch up this part, and then what you want to do is you head into environment or a 3D printing area or save as, and you want this to be a STL file. An STL file is basically a three-dimensional XYZ coordinate system of your part. This is what goes into your 3D printer software eventually. Worth noting is that when you save this part, there may be some unit issues. So just make sure that you have the same units here in the STL as when you sketched up the parts. Usually that will be in millimeters. Okay, so now you've made the parts, you made it into a STL file, and then you want to put it into the slicer. And here, this slicer is an online tool. It could be any kind of tool, but the basics of a slicer is that it will tell the machine how to put layer by layer. So basically a G-code, giving inputs on temperature, speed, etc., etc. And then we find our part. This is our STL or 3D object. We put this into our software. Okay, so here we have it in our environment. Okay, so now the part has loaded, and we can see there are some details, dimensions, print time, wash time. The washing is to remove excess polymers. You need to dry the part afterwards, the mass, and so on. And there are also some warnings. We'll skip these and hope for the best. All right, so how will this print look like? Or how will it print? So here you can see some colors. So this yellow bottom part here, that is the raft to give it support, printing support. And then we have some layers in between here, and you have the purple, which is for which is, you can see that here, it's an infill part and the support part. So the purple is support. Support is just to make sure the part is not being overlaced or being deformed. So you would need some support at the bottom here and here as well to avoid this part being non-circular. There are some white parts here as well. Excuse me, orange parts. Not as visible, but they're in between it here and here to make sure that you can remove the supports afterwards. We can also see this layer by layer. So this is how it's printing. You can see the walls and you can see the triangles. But this is just a raft, so this is not part of our structure. So now it's building up its support, and the white part here is a release material so that we can remove the part by hand easily afterwards when it's finished printing. And then you can see purple support, white is the actual part that we're looking for. And then I'm just going through layer by layer here now. As you can see, inside of here, it's one massive part. And this is something we may need to fix because this is very difficult to remove from this spiral. It will be probably very stuck. And so let's go back and look at the support structure. And we can then use the cubic. We'll go with small first, and then we need to save and slice again. Okay, so now we made these updates. So here we can see the supports they have a air gap here. So this is one cube as mentioned, and you can vary the size of these, and I wanted these to be smaller so that I can remove one by one, because then I hope that we can remove the supports on the inside. So that's about it. There's not too much else to play around with. Design is the main thing. That's something you do in a different course and class. We then press print, and here you can see the parts as it will be on the print bed. And then we print online.